Hello everyone and welcome to Loddon Valley Leisure Centre. It's the first NBL live game of the season between the Reading Rockets and the Hemel Storm. And just before the game tips off, we caught up with both coaches before today's game, starting with Rockets coach Samit Nurizade.
Here with head coach Samit Nurizade. Samit, early season, full squad back now. How are you feeling about today's game?
Feeling really positive. We had a really good practice, the week of practice. We analyzed our mistakes from previous games and against the Hemel, and really positive, feeling good.
And is there anything that stood out particularly about their roster? They're pretty strong offensively.
Yes, they've got no weaknesses, I would say. Every spot they've got really good players, but so have we. So we will have to match it and play to win.
Coach, best of luck today.
Thank you.
Here with Michael Darlow of the Hemel Storm. Coach, only been a couple of weeks since we last saw you here at the Loddon Valley Leisure Centre. How's the prep been like? What's different over a couple of weeks when you're seeing the same team twice in a quick succession?
Yeah, it was really helpful to play him a couple of weeks ago in the Kick King Trophy. Obviously we saw some signs of what Reading can be like, but we're expecting a different beast today. I think having the likes of Ben Dixon back is really important for them. In terms of our prep, not much has changed. We'll still go through the same procedure each week, talking about their offensive tendencies, their defensive tendencies, but it helps playing them 2 weeks ago because we can look at how they approach it against us. Obviously there'll be some changes today and we'll need to recognise that early, but the approach has very much been what was our successes like when we played here last time and how can we improve on our weaknesses.
That's perfect, Coach. Best of luck today. John, back to you.
Me and guys, it's a great occasion here, the 25th anniversary of the Reading Ben, and a new venue to boot. Just what has the mood been like this season ahead of today's game?
Well, thanks very much indeed for having me on, John. It's been brilliant so far. Really good to be at this new venue. As you can see, lots of fans here already, and the feel about the place is really positive. I feel like it's a new era for the club, even 25 years later. So we're really looking forward to this season and hopefully many more here.
Absolutely. And Mark, Reading have played here in the early 2000s, sharing with Rivermead on odd occasions. So some fantastic game nights here that we will probably touch on a bit later on. But as Ben said, a new era of Reading Rockets basketball, but it's not really got off to the greatest of starts, has it? Hemel coming into this with a perfect record, Reading looking for their first win. I think we're having mic issues with you, Mark. I can't hear you. But
I can hear you, Mark. It's great, and what you're saying is great.
It's just a shame I couldn't hear you, really. But we'll go with what we were saying, and I'll let you continue, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people can hear me on the stream. Who knows? You can't hear me, but maybe someone on the stream can. Yeah, injuries for Reading early season. Plenty of people in and out the roster, and they're struggling to get going a bit. Samit also away on some family duties. They've been a little bit disrupted. Hemel look very strong. Will certainly be one of the top three contenders in the division. Got an absolute sheep code of a backcourt in Taylor Johnson, Sessuave, Alex Rye. I mean, they're loaded. So yeah, tough one for Reading today, but should be a good one.
Well, I could just about hear you, Mark. I actually heard that answer, so that was good. Not too bad on that one. So I must stress to everyone watching today's NBL live game, there are no graphics for the score. So we will be giving you scores as the game goes on, and hopefully we might get them during the game. You just never know. It's the joys of live streaming. You never know what is going to happen. Starting fives for today's game, starting with the hometown Reading Rockets. They will be led out by Reese Pinnock, Sandar Pandar, Lewis Champion, Troy Cracknell and Finley Porter. For the Hemel Storm, Hakeem Silla, Sam Newman, Seth Suave, Taylor Johnson and Aaron Rye. So a very strong lineup for the Hemel Storm, but some really good up-and-coming players for the Reading Rockets, Ben, namely Finley Porter, who really stood out in the game, one of the few standouts in the game last week at the Worthing Thunder. And before that, here against Nottingham Hoods, got a double-double as well. So certainly one to look for today.
Yes, most definitely. I think in the game against Worthing, he really showed his pedigree and his potential and what's to come. I really like his inside mid-range game. He's developing that. He's knocking down some baseline jumpers. He's able to defend better as well. So yeah, he's been a real shining light for the Rockets so far this season, and we're excited as to what he can produce in the games moving forward.
And just continuing with the Reading lineup, a lot of players that really want to make a name for themselves today, especially after the disappointment last week. Mainly Jeremiah Jenkins and Jordan Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Jenkins is sort of a little firecracker of a scorer, and if he gets it going, he can really score in bunches. We just haven't seen it very consistently yet here at Loddon Valley, at the Valley as we like to call it. But he will, if he gets going, he's a very, very big problem on offense. Jordan Jackson is another one. I mean, in his mid-20s, but still developing. He's certainly working well with Coach Samet Narazade, finding good touches. And I think in his first 3 or 4 games, he was almost a double-double. Since then, he's really struggled, got into some silly foul trouble. So if they can get going today, they could really trouble Hemel.
And Ben, going on to the Hemel Storm lineup, there was a lot of talk in the off-season with Hemel, with the players they were signing. It was almost like a trade-off between them and Thames Valley. Thames Valley getting half of their players and Hemel getting half of Thames Valley's players. But it's benefited Hemel absolutely no dividends. Akeem Silla coming out, all guns blazing. Taylor Johnson, of course. Many people thought he would have been the MVP last season. Who else do you think stands out for that team?
Well, what I would say is, I think one of the keys, certainly in this division, is to build upon what you have. So, I mean, the coaching staff of Drew Spinks and Mike Darlow have been ever present for the last couple of seasons, and I think they've just built upon the roster that they've had. I think Seth Suave is definitely one to watch out for. He was really good in the Kit King Trophy game against the Rockets last time out. But they've got experience, youth, and I think they've got good coverage at every single position. So they're a tough outfit for sure.
Of course, these teams playing each other for the second time already this season at this venue. Hemel defeating Reading 100-69 in the Kit King Trophy semi-final. Of course, Rockets will be looking to gain revenge today in front of a near-packed house, but no doubt incredibly noisy here at Loddon Valley. That could have been the reason why I couldn't hear Mark earlier, because the noise was deafening, and it's been deafening when we got into the venue earlier today.
I also fixed some technical issues, John. I stepped into the role and fixed the technical problems. No joke.
Taylor Johnson already straight away. Layup misses everything. And here is Pandar. An early pass to Cracknell, who misses the 3. And a foul already, but a statement of intent for both sides, even though they missed their opening field goal attempts.
There'll be plenty of energy in this one, a lot of physicality. And yeah, what a crowd. People are still coming in now. It's noisy. This is exactly what we want for our first NBL Live of the season.
Absolutely. It's great to see so many people here at Loddon Valley, and made even more difficult by the fact that parts of the M4 have been shut today. However, we've all made it safely here at Loddon Valley. Nice pass inside, and Johnson going for the early statement dunk, and he's going to go to the foul line. Beautiful pass, though, leading to that attempt, and Taylor Johnson will go to the foul line.
Probably one of the league's best cutters off the ball, Taylor Johnson. Somebody who does a great job getting himself free, especially on the backdoor cut. And a big play from him early on.
As Taylor Johnson makes the first foul shot, there's a smattering of Hemel fans in attendance. Hemel Storm fans probably amongst the best travelled supporters in the league. They follow the team everywhere they go, and they're in plenty of noise here at Loddon Valley today. Champion looking for Porter inside, finds him and scores.
Right on cue, John, who you mentioned in the pre-game. Finn gets going early.
Finley Porter, who actually spent last season in Malta's Premier Division, coming here for his first season. And what a start he's had. Here is Rye inside, twists and turns and scores.
As the kids would say, Alex Rye is a cheat code in this league. He's surprisingly athletic and can score on all three levels.
60% from the field already this season. What an impact player he has been. Cracknell, 8 to shoot for the Rockets. Here is Porter off the back iron. Big rebound there from Pinnock, and the ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Rockets.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the key features today for the Rockets. They're going to have to rebound the ball really, really well to have a chance of being in this one, that's for sure.
Shot clock reset to 14. Here is Porter over Rye. Good defense from Aaron Rye. Here is Seth Suave. Nearly found the cutting Hakeem Silla. And the ball goes out of bounds. Referees just making sure they know who it came off last, and it will be a Rockets possession. Much to the disgrace of the Hemel Storm supporters.
I don't know if I missed it. It looked quite clear for me.
Yes,
From
likewise.
here, it did actually look like a Reading ball. I think the referees did get that right, but try and convince that to the Hemel fans. It's 4-2 in favour of the Storm early doors. Here is Troy Cracknell. Pinnock with 7 to shoot. Porter and a foul inside.
I wonder if that's something that Reading are looking at as a slight size mismatch down low with Porter and Taylor Johnson. So I wonder if they're trying to exploit that early.
And straight away, as soon as Champion got that, an offensive foul was called away from the ball. And it's a second foul, and I think that's on Troy Cracknell, so he'll take an early seat. That's a big blow for Reading as Ben Dixon comes into the game. And Ben Dixon, one of the few bright points in last week's game down on the South Coast. He had 12 points on 6 for 10 shooting against the Rockets, against the Thunder, excuse me. Here is Suave. Good defense there from Pinnock. Seth Suave just about gets it over the timeline. And the ball goes out of bounds, but great hustle defense there from Reese Pinnock.
Yeah, great Dixon, very good defender and good to bring in off the bench. Troy Cracknell, a massive loss offensively though.
Troy Cracknell has been averaging nearly a double-double this season, albeit only 2 games. Rye under the basket, foul again called. In what has been a very stop-start beginning to this contest.
It certainly has, and the Rockets already in the penalty with 8 minutes remaining.
A 3 from Newman is good from the corner, and he faces the Hemel Storm fans who voiced their approval at that, and the Storm take an early 7-2 lead.
Hemel very deep in the guard position. It's hard to see where our weakness is.
Pinnock inside to Porter over Silla, and on the follow was Panda.
Yeah, Panda back from injury now, had a groin injury earlier in the year. Now getting back to full shape.
Talking to Matt Johnson, he was saying that last week was actually the first time that the Rockets were near full strength. Silla going inside, and a foul called before the layup went. Silla wants continuation, but I think the whistle went long before he put the ball on the floor.
So it's a good foul from Porter, but unfortunately it's his second. He got an early foul in the front court.
As
Jordan
Jackson comes into the game, a guy that's really looking for a breakout game this season for the Rockets. Didn't register a field goal last week against the Thunder, and really eager to impress Coach Nurizade today. As Hakeem Silla, not the best free throw shooter on the Hemel Storm roster, misses both. Champion Pinnock loses the ball, and Hemel come away with it, and Newman with the easy finish. And a quick timeout by the Rockets. Samet Nurizade not happy with what he saw, especially in that last possession, and the Storm take a 5-point lead with 6:59 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think live ball turnovers are something we've spoken about with the Rockets in previous games, and I think obviously just one easy one there and giving Hemel some easy points is probably not the direction that Coach Nurizade wants to go in, so he's chosen to talk it over.
And 5 quick points for Sam Newman, and Reading really have to limit turnovers today, even more so than ever. You know, last week I think it was around 33 to 28, turnovers against Worthing, and they'll be really desperate to get that down today.
Yeah, as Fish said, it's been the kind of Achilles heel of this team so far. They've not shot the ball well on the perimeter, but turnovers has been an absolute killer. When we were here for the Nottingham Hoods game, same thing, just unbelievable amounts of turnovers, big hole, and it took him a long time to get back into it. Great timeout from Coach Nurizade, wants to keep this one close. Hemel just so interesting. Last time it was Hakeem Silla who had just about 12 in the first quarter. Now he's gone quiet. Sam Newman steps up, and that's kind of what you deal with the Hemel Storm. Absolutely,
so many weapons on this Hemel Storm team. Hakeem Silla had 14 points in the first quarter in that Kick King Trophy semi-final. Only 2 points off, weren't too bad.
Yes, early season form for me, not bad at all.
It's the first game. We're entitled to a bit of commentary ring rust as Jackson goes inside, backing down Silla. And the short hook is off the back iron. Silla with the rebound.
Need to keep getting Jordan Jackson those positions.
Taylor Johnson raises the rim for 3. Hakeem Silla coming off a 5th straight season in NBL Division 1, averaging a double-double. Of course, in his first season with the Storm. Here is Pinnock, finds Champion. 8 to shoot for Lewis Champion. Finds Reese Pinnock, blocked by Newman. Great defense from Sam Newman, but the ball goes out of bounds, and the shot clock fully resets, so Reading can get a full play out of this one, as Troy Cracknell will come back into the game on 2 fouls, and Sandar Panda will sit down for Reading. Bit of a risk putting Troy Cracknell back on with 2 fouls, as Champion straight away on the catch and shoot drills a 3.
Yeah, definitely a risk, but I think Coach Nurizade is looking at it from a scoring point of view. Doesn't have too many scorers on the floor, so he's put his man back in.
Suave. Inside to Rye, who's been unusually quiet so far. Silla with the offensive rebound, blocked by Jackson. Great defense there from Jordan Jackson, as Hakeem Silla was looking for the up and under finish. And Rockets get possession.
Anyone think this one could be a bit physical under the rim today?
It'll be much different to when these 2 teams last played in the Kick King Trophy semi-final, no doubt about it. The intensity just being raised a little bit here as Jackson goes at Silla and gets it to go.
Great move from Jordan Jackson down low, gets cut off to the middle, turns on his left shoulder and hooks it in.
Game is tied at 9, halfway through the first quarter. Suave in his favourite spot, and that's why. Champion. Champion finds Cracknell. Hesitates, and a foul called on Sam Newman, getting his hand caught in the cookie jar. And Rockets will get the ball back.
Better from Rockets. The couple of possessions before where they pass around the perimeter, ends up with Pinnock in the corner, gets his 3 blocked. Now they've got Troy Cracknell back in the game, coming off screens, attacking the paint. It's much better from Reading.
As you can see, we are working on getting a score graphic. We so nearly had it, but it's not 100 to 9 in favour of Hemel. As Champion goes to the hoop, and a third, or nearly a bucket inside there, but a 4th team foul on the Storm, so team fouls now for Hemel. Of course, Rockets already in the penalty with 4:49 remaining in the first.
Yeah, but as I say, better from Reading, right? Getting inside, going off the bounce a bit more, and gets Rye his first foul.
Jackson. Again with the short hook, back-to-back buckets for Jordan Jackson.
Yeah, and he's going to need to score for the Rockets, definitely, in this game. He had a very quiet outing last time, but great to see the offense flowing through him in the post.
Rye. Driving at Dixon. Suave looking to create his own shot, finds Newman. Shot clock winding down. Great defense there from the Rockets, and it's Rockets possession.
Probably one of the best defensive possessions we've seen all year from Reading. Switching on the perimeter really caused Hemel trouble.
Jackson. Dixon. Driving, the pass just about finds Pinnock. Champion inside to Jackson. Jackson didn't have a lot of room. Instead, Hemel can break in transition. And there's another bucket there for Sam Newman. 7 points for Sam Newman. Pass from Champion just about finds Pinnock. Hemel fans in great voice here at Loddon Valley. Jackson, nearly found Reese Pinnock, but instead Hemel can break away again. Rye, a three, splash.
And this is what these live ball turnovers do. They get very punished by the Storm. And it's a 6-point game, 3 turnovers.
That's 4th turnover actually for the Rockets in this game so far. Champion driving inside, beautiful pass, and Pinnock with an easy finish.
Better again, always look a bit better on the drive. Reading so far in this quarter.
Pinnock, like Johnson, will continue to move all game long, will continue to find ways to get to the basket undetected as a foul was called, as Teo Oyefusi will come into the game for the Storm. Akeem Silla will take a seat.
Lewis Champion's second foul as well, John.
As Jeremiah Jenkins checks into the game for the Rockets. Champion will come out, as you said, on 2 fouls, Mark. And another player, Jeremiah Jenkins, looking to make a name for himself this season. Had a poor outing against Worthing last week, just 1 for 7 from the field. Had 21 points, 4 rebounds against the Nottingham Hoods. But a player, as you say, Mark, a firecracker on the court, and the shorter point guards always prove to be one of the quickest point guards as well in the league. They always make for such quick and nifty point guards. Jenkins, one of those players.
Yeah, and he started on the bench today, so quite an interesting, he usually starts, so I wonder if Coach Nurizadeh sees some value in him coming off the bench.
Pinnock. Great footwork, but instead has to kick it out to Jenkins. Shot clock winding down, has to adjust, and it's off right. Reese Pinnock, though, with the offensive board, and Dixon, I don't think he realised just how much room he had. The lob, the finish by Rye!
Wow.
Highlight play there from Aaron Rye, skying out of the gym for that one. And Hemel lead by 7. Dixon looking to respond. Taylor Johnson with the rebound.
Got a feeling that Rye dunk might hit the socials quite quickly.
Certainly one for BBL Fix and Hoops Fix, no doubt about it. As a turnover there. Here is Cracknell. Cracknell at the foul line, gets it to go.
Yeah, that's good for Troy Cracknell. He needed a bucket just to get him going. His scoring is going to be really important for the Rockets as we head into the last part of this first quarter.
Johnson. Suave, yet to really find his rhythm. Goes glass and scores.
Lovely finish from Suave. Wrong foot, right hand, really good stuff.
Averaged over 50% from three-point line in the Georgian League last season. First season here in the UK as Cracknell goes glass, and the referee's just going to give Troy Cracknell a little warning for touching the ball as it was going down the cylinder. As Romario Spence and Charles Aqua-Davis come into the game for the first time. Both players missed last week's win over the Loughborough Riders, in which they shot 55% from the field, and this will be a very fun team to watch this season. Hemel Storm already in the Kit King Trophy final, and just a strong team in all positions, really.
Yeah, not really a lot of weakness in this roster at all.
As Romario Spence's pass goes out of bounds, so Rockets will get the possession with just more than 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jenkins, free lane, but he blows the layup. Instead goes inside and kicks it out to Cracknell. Cracknell to Ben Dixon, gets a three to go.
Big shot from Ben Dixon, gets this one within 2.
Two possession first quarter here, so Reading should get the ball back. Taylor Johnson driving, and he's carried it. As Jack Burnell will check into the game for the first time, and Taylor Johnson will take a seat. It's not often you see a carry called in basketball in this country.
You do love to see it, though.
Absolutely, got to get those mischievous calls in.
Got to test those referees every once in a while. 2-point game with 22.1 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Niall Gray, our friend on the stream, saying he likes this Hemel team. You and many others, my friend. You and many others.
Of course, a lot of people have been talking about Hemel in the off-season, going by the signings they have made alongside the Worthing Thunder. Jenkins finds a bit of room and strings it. A long two for Jeremiah Jenkins. And that'll do for the first quarter. We're all tied up at 22 apiece here at Loddon Valley, and a much different feel to it from the Kit King Trophy final. A lot more intense, a lot more physical, as we alluded to, and nothing to separate the two teams at the end of the first quarter, Ben.
Yeah, brilliant comeback from the Rockets. I have to say they're finding their offensive weapons. They went inside to Jordan Jackson. That was beneficial for them. Troy Cracknell got going. Jemiah Jenkins is given a spark off the bench. So, yeah, really nice play from the Rockets in that final period of the first quarter.
And Mark, on the Hemel Storm side, Sam Newman leading all scorers with 8 points so far. Quite effective, actually, from the field. They're shooting 72% as opposed to 47% for Reading. You know, as the game goes on, though, does that favour Hemel? Will they, be able to keep that momentum going?
I think it's an interesting one. I know Coach Nurizade's focus was, from the last meeting, is Hakeem Silla walked to the rim for 14 points in the first quarter, as you said. They've cut that off today. Hakeem Silla seeing nothing inside. It seems to have opened up the perimeter. It's really, if Hemel can keep shooting at this clip level and keep the momentum, then that's good. If they go a little bit cold, I think maybe it swings back in Reading's favour, as they seem to be scoring inside and out. Absolutely.
14 points, as we mentioned, in that first quarter in the Kit King Trophy semi-final. Get off the mark. So far, his only attempts have been from the foul line. 0 for 2 is Hakeem Silla, but no doubt he will get going as this contest keeps on providing, as the two teams get back onto the court for the second period. Again, nothing to separate the two teams after one, 22 apiece. Hemel led by as many as 7 points. Reading actually haven't enjoyed any sort of a lead so far. Here is Newman. Spence. Back to Newman, drives inside, looking for options, finds it in Oyafusi, who's a useful three-point shooter, but that's a long two for Teo Oyafusi.
Oyafusi, one of those X factors, could do a little bit inside and out. He's one to watch.
Jackson backing down Spence, and Newman rebounds. Spence thought about the three, but instead kicks it out to Oyefusi. Aqua Davis falls to the floor, picks up his dribble, and I think, yeah, that's a travel violation has been called.
I had double dribbles, travels, I had all sorts of
yeah.
Everything was
I
in there.
nearly called double dribble on that until the officials actually put the travel sign on. Of course, Charles Aqua Davis, one of the acquisitions from the Thames Valley Cavaliers in the off-season. Jenkins looking for the pick and roll with Jackson and finds Panda inside. Dixon goes glass and gets it to go.
Yeah, good patience from the Rockets, and that's definitely what they'll need throughout this game if they're to capitalise on the offensive end.
Newman driving and a kick out to an open Jack Burnell, and his three is long. Jenkins driving at Newman. Pace nearly quickening up a bit there, but Cracknell decides to slow it down. Good hands there from Aqua Davis, and Hemel off to the races. Burnell, cross-court pass to Aqua Davis. And an offensive foul called on Charles Aqua Davis.
The first time that the Storm didn't punish the Rockets for one of their turnovers. Rockets defending a lot better, especially in transition. And a bold play from Cracknell there on 2 fouls, putting his body on the line though, but drawing the charge. Absolutely,
24 points have been scored so far off turnovers from both teams, so just shows the consistency. When you get a turnover, they're making it count, but that's both teams right now as Jenkins has the ball. Jenkins driving, nearly slipped, had to kick it out to Porter, who was in unfamiliar territory. Jenkins pulls up and is long, and Burnell beats Reese Pinnock to the rebound. Suave gets it back off Burnell. 8 to shoot. Suave inside to Silla, beautiful feed from Seth Suave, and Akeem Silla says thank you very much.
I thought the Rockets did a really good job of switching, and then Pinnock leaves Silla under the rim, and he's not the guy you want to leave from 2 feet.
Jenkins, Cracknell back to Jenkins. Porter in the corner, and on the follow was Panda.
It's great to have Panda back from the groin injury, just another body at that 3-4 position that Reading were lacking.
4 points on 2 for 2 shooting for Sandar Panda. Suave, who can create his own shot off the three. Silla in unfamiliar territory for him, took a shot nearly off the elbow as Porter comes the other way and lays it up and in. Timeout called by Drew Spinks as the Rockets take a 28-26 lead.
I mean, this is remarkable. I mean, it's. I think the big difference for me in this is that, as I say, the last meeting, lots of open layups for Hemel. Reading switching the perimeter really well. They're cutting those rolls to the rim off, and it's forcing Hemel to stay on the perimeter, and they're not having as much success.
And Ben, for Reading, their first lead of the game, a great spell for them. A good timeout from Drew Spinks, but a good start to this second quarter from the hosts.
Yes, most definitely, and it's really pleasing to see that I think the defensive work that the Rockets have been doing during the last couple of weeks is really paying dividend now, getting some scores in transition, but also being very patient with the basketball and not worrying about going through necessarily Troy Cracknell the whole time. And it's good to see there's a real good point spread from the home team so far.
And as we have a quick timeout, Loddon Valley, of course, the new home of the Reading Rockets. Of course, this isn't the first time this team has played here, and many battles are played here over the years, especially Ben with the Worthing Thunder. 2 memorable games here at Loddon Valley. One game that saw Worthing effectively win the NBL championship in 2004-2005, and then Reading getting their revenge at the same venue a season later. But one of the great battles here was when Worthing won their first league title. They effectively won it here in a very high-scoring game, and a great contest that saw E.J. Harrison put on 41 points, but bettered by Alfredo Ott of Worthing Thunder, who got 44 points on that day in one of the better NBL games you'll ever see.
Well, if you want historical facts, John Hobbs is your man. Absolutely incredible. But I was only a wee nipper then, John, so
you were there,
we'll gloss over that one.
You were there. You can't make that. Once a Rocket, always a Rocket. He'll never want to talk about it. Johnson inside to Aaron Rye, and Aaron Rye's shot bounces off the rim. He'll go to the line for two. But yeah, great memories here at Loddon Valley, and the place has had a huge revamp, and as you can see, it's paying dividends, and we've got a crowd of nearly 300 here today, and you know, fantastic noise being generated, and it feels like home already. Even though you've spent all this time at Rivermead, just being here, it does feel like home, doesn't it?
Yes, mainly because we've come into the 21st century, I think. Rivermead was... I know. a slight knock there.
Shots fired.
It's really good. We absolutely love it here. Great atmosphere, and long may it continue.
Oh, Ben Fisher dropped a mic there when he said that. Panda driving at Rye, inside to Pinnock. Open man is Jenkins for three.
Good inside-outside again from Reading. Paint touches, kicks the perimeter, wide open three.
Johnson finds Aaron Rye. I'd say that Hemel's offense has been a little bit static so far. They're almost going in individual terms as Silla driving inside and scores.
I think you live with that though. Broken play at the end of the shot clock ends up in the hands of Sillaris, a dribble from three. I'd probably take that. Be upset if we didn't cut him off, but I'd still, as I say, take that one.
Halfway through this second quarter at Loddon Valley, here is Cracknell driving at Johnson, and a foul called on Taylor Johnson.
I've missed Samet being so animated on the side as Troy Cracknell turns the corner and Taylor Johnson just slightly out of position.
As we alluded to in the earlier stages of this stream, it's been a very physical contest, something very different to what we saw in the semi-final of the Kit King Trophy contest, as Aaron Rye collects the loose ball.
Tough shot from Cracknell, not a high percentage one.
Bernal on the catch and shoot, and rebound by Panda. Here is Pinnock going all the way. Beautiful play from Maurice Pinnock.
Rockets just getting it going a little bit in this second quarter.
4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Reece Pinnock. Great early stat line for him. As you see on the replay, just that burst of speed and making the layup count, as Aaron Rye will go back to the foul line for the Storm. Quiet 8 points so far for Aaron Rye, but that's what he's been doing all season long, hasn't he? Just quietly, efficiently getting those points, pulling down those rebounds, as he's been averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds and 7 assists thus far in this regular season. Only 3 games played though for the Storm.
I'll be honest, it wasn't that quiet last time he came here. He had about 3 dunks, he had all sorts going on. He had a loud 20 plus, but he's very talented and a surprisingly good athlete. He doesn't look like he'd be a great athlete, but he's very, very athletic too, to go with a very good skill game.
Porter. Ball bops around a little bit, and Aaron Rye again comes up with the loose ball. Johnson, the extra pass, Suave in the corner. And a timeout called by the Rockets, wanting to end this Hemel spell as they take a 1-point lead with 4:19 remaining. But like the start of the second quarter, Ben, it was a good start from the Rockets, but Hemel now finding their rhythm.
Yeah, what a great game this is, really end to end, nip and tuck, and I think You can definitely see the Hemel Storm offensive threat really firing in that last minute, and probably a good timeout by Coach Nurizadeh just to nip that one in the bud and get his guys back on track.
Absolutely, and if you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everybody. John Hobbs, Mark Halewood and Ben Fisher keeping you company this afternoon at Loddon Valley, starting another NBL live season, and next time our cameras will be with you will be in Solent, as we'll be giving you a double header of WNBL action and NBL action as the Solent Kestrels take on the Brent Bulls in WNBL action, and that will be followed by the Solent Kestrels taking on the Manchester Magic. So Solent taking on the newly promoted teams of this division, and both teams really giving a good accounting for themselves. Manchester Magic yet to get off the mark, but competitive so far, Mark, and Brent Bulls undefeated so far in WNBL Div 1.
Yeah, Brent Bulls the surprise package of WNBL, and they beat Reading Rockets early on in the year, and again that's sort of where they caught my eye, and they've been going ever since. And Manchester Magic, was it Worthing they played yesterday? Tough at their place, and 15-point loss, but with a young squad against a Worthing team that's putting up a lot of points against everybody. That's a pretty good accounting for themselves.
They held Worthing to below 100, even though it was 99 points, but held them to below 100 and kept the game competitive until late on as Rye collects the rebound. Aaron Rye with 4 rebounds to go with 10 points, so double-double watch for Aaron Rye. Here is Johnson. Johnson finds his way inside, and a foul. They're going to see if that counts first off.
I think that one should.
And the basket does count, yes, as Taylor Johnson finding just the smallest bit of room and getting his layup to go.
I think it's one of the first time the switches have caused a mismatch. There's Jordan Jackson on Taylor Johnson, and he's kind of going at both Porter and Jordan Jackson. That's a very tough matchup for those guys.
Finley Porter with that foul as he'll take a seat. Ben Dixon will come back into the game for the Rockets as the Storm have a chance to extend this lead to 4 with 3:46 remaining in the half. Of course, Taylor Johnson, the man that Hemel Storm fans believe should have been the MVP last season, led the league in scoring, missed out on the MVP award to Solent's Cole Gentry, who 2 players had an incredible matchup in the playoff final in Manchester last time out. As ball goes out of bounds, it will stay with the Rockets.
Yeah, Taylor Johnson could easily have been MVP. Wasn't even couldn't he? He's just in that list of elite scorers in this league.
Cracknell in the corner, wide open, and Aaron Rye another rebound. Aaron Rye deciding to go it all alone. Finds Silla inside, muscling his way in. Rye picks up the pieces and scores. As Troy Cracknell stays on the floor. And the worrying sign for Troy Cracknell, who has yet to get up off his feet. We'll just see the replay of this, as it was a very physical matchup inside, as Troy Cracknell got, you can see, got an elbow there from Akeem Silla coming down.
Yep, straight between the eyes, that one. Rather unpleasant.
Yeah, big ouch moment for
just
Troy
a bit.
Cracknell. I was just about to say before that, it was interesting. I think the Rockets went with Finn Porter and Jordan Jackson for the first time together, but Coach Nurizadeh didn't seem to like that in terms of matchup, so Ben Dixon came in, and he's keeping making the changes just to see if he can find the right unit to get the Rockets back into the ball game.
As Cracknell will take a seat just by where the Reading fans are situated behind the basket.
It's been interesting to have Panda and Porter on the offensive glass for Reading. It's been really handy. They keep a lot alive, and 2 bigs are sometimes what you need physically against this Hemel team. But again, they've sort of gone with a 4-guard lineup. Ray's really like a guard wing, and just 1 big in Silla. So perhaps that's what the move is. Go back to kind of having 4 perimeter guys and 1 inside guy, with Panda being that guy to play the perimeter and being able to switch with those guys.
So a big thank you to everyone that has joined us here today on the Basketball England YouTube channel. Great to have you all on board today, and hopefully you'll join us for future broadcasts as we will be giving you a full list as the season keeps going of the games that we'll be streaming in both NBL and WNBL. Of course, we'll have live action of those selected games as well as all the finals this season. Jenkins. Inside it goes to Jackson with 4 on the shot clock, and Taylor Johnson collects the rebound. Johnson now pushing it. Seth Suave wide open 3. Doesn't get it to go. And here is Jenkins for the Rockets. Jenkins pulls up off the back iron. Suave rebounds.
Tough shot that one if it doesn't go, which it didn't.
Johnson the other way. Rattles a 3 in. It was a big risk from Jeremiah Jenkins, and Taylor Johnson makes him pay.
Had 3 on 2. I think he should have gone right to Panda. I think he was wide open. Dials his own number and gets punished on the other end by Taylor Johnson.
Taylor Johnson now moves on to 8 points and stays on 4 assists. Champion inside to Jackson. Jackson muscling his way in, counted and a foul. Jordan Jackson having a great first half here for the Rockets.
Yeah, I do believe the Rockets should continue to look to the inside. Jordan Jackson's missed a couple of gimmies at the rim, but you can see the Storm are hard hedging on the pick and roll. If they can just find that triangle pass to get the ball inside to him, I think Jordan Jackson will have a big influence on this game.
We said, Mark, at the start that Jordan Jackson really due a breakout game this season. Could this be the moment? He's having a good first quarter thus far.
Yeah, he's finding good positions. As Fish said, he's missed a couple around the rim, but he's really that inside presence that Reading need to keep Hemel honest on the pick and roll.
Beautiful pass from Sam Newman. Textbook offense from the Storm, and Taylor Johnson with the easy dunk. Jenkins driving, gets it to go, and one. What a move from Jeremiah Jenkins. Hanging in the air, and gets the beautiful kiss off the backboard.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the Jeremiah Jenkins of the fourth quarter against the Nottingham Hoods, as we see him on the replay with a tough finish, protecting the ball high off the glass with the left hand. That is a really big play from the small guard.
Absolutely, a 5'8" Jeremiah Jenkins getting over Akeem Siller at 6'9". Nearly a foot or over a foot's difference, and getting that layup to go. As Taylor Johnson collects the rebound off the miss, and here come the Storm with Suave. Suave changes direction, goes up, misses it. Akeem Siller blocked, and a foul called.
I really like Seth Suave. I think he's an excellent player. What a great addition to the Storm roster. He's got a bit of everything. So smooth the way he plays, finds the open looks, gets to the rack when he needs to. Really impressed.
Is Suave with a different spelling synonym of smooth? Suave?
And sophisticated.
I think your spelling needs a bit of work.
I said with a different spelling. That's what I said. I clarified different spelling.
Apologies.
Mark will get destroyed on YouTube for that, as the free throws have been made, and here is Champion. Maybe sit this offense out a little bit there, Mark.
The playback will keep me true. I said different spelling.
Jenkins, 6 on the shot clock. Jackson, shot clock winding down, but he gets his shot to go over Siller.
It's tough to stop.
8 points now for Jordan Jackson to go with 3 rebounds. Suave nearly found Johnson a cut again. Instead, he gets his own shot to go, but misses it. And Johnson, that'll be a foul called on Panda, who was pulling at his shirt. Very dangerous foul there from Panda, almost unsportsmanlike, and I think the referees are just discussing whether that should be or not.
Yeah, I imagine that's what they will actually call.
And yeah, unsportsmanlike foul call. That was a very dangerous foul there from Panda, as Johnson will go to the line and Hemel will get possession back.
Unpopular opinion. I think I'm okay with that. In this type of game, to pull and push, it is an unsportsmanlike foul, but I'm actually quite happy that Panda does it to show the physicality on the defensive end.
With the physicality we've had in this game so far, you're almost expecting fouls like that right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that the no easy score option is definitely important, but you've just got to do that in the right way, I think.
And it worked there for the Rockets as Taylor Johnson splits his free throws.
You can see Fish is the sensible part of yin and yang. I say I'm okay with it. You say you have to do it legally.
You two will just not agree on anything, will you? Johnson inside to Silla. Silla goes to the floor, but finds Johnson for three, and his three goes. Of course, Taylor Johnson had that game-winning three in the rebound all-star game in Solent to end the season. As he now moves on to 13 points. That's his second three of this game. As he takes a seat, Charles Aqua-Davis will check in for the Storm as they lead 50-39 with 25 seconds remaining of the half. Reading in desperate need of a strong finish, but they'll get the ball back. They should get the ball back after these free throws, and Hemel will get possession. But Hemel will no doubt try and slow the possession down to end the half.
I've triggered the comment section with both saying I'm okay with intentionally fouling and my spelling of suave and suave. The comment section has been triggered.
You brought that on yourself.
And I'll stand here and take it.
Agreed.
Come see me.
You've got to own up to that. Here is Newman. Rye. One look at the shot clock. One look at the basket. Offensive foul called on Rye as Lewis Champion using his veteran know-how.
As you know, John, he loves a charge.
Doesn't he just?
An additional stat would be to distance, how far he falls backwards on a charge, and see which is the longest over a season. That was pretty long.
Final seconds of the half. Johnson, or Jenkins, excuse me, puts in a three at the buzzer. Great basket there for the Rockets. And just what they need to end this first half. They trail by 6. They were trailing by 11 with 25 seconds remaining. And they've narrowed the gap to 6 at the half, but a good half there from both teams, but the Hemel Storm lead 50-44, Mark.
Yeah, and good value for it. I think if I was Reading, I was going to say it, we'd get into it at the half. If I'm looking at the last minute and a half, I think if Reading manage their possession slightly better and slow the tempo down and give Hemel less offensive possessions, I think this is probably even closer. But full credit for them to get back in it. Hemel still very good value for their 6-point lead.
Absolutely, and Ben, Hemel shooting 60% from the field as opposed to 47% by the Reading Rockets, and it's just a case of just keep the defense going in the third quarter and try and get as many hands in their face as possible.
Yeah, I think that both coaches are going to talk over a number of things during the halftime interval. I think, as you just alluded to right before the end of the quarter, like it was a really important possession for the Rockets. They managed to get a stop with the champion charge and hit a three, and in previous games it's gone the other way for them. So that's a big plus for them with this six-point deficit. But yeah, it's going to be brilliant second half action, and I think the Rockets will just need to look at defensively a little bit as to how they stop some of their actions from the Storm.
Absolutely, as you see the highlights from a really physical and intense first half of action here at Loddon Valley. Plenty of highlights, but foul trouble and lots of trips to the foul line. It's been a stop-start half, hasn't it, by both teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a real, peaks and troughs, haven't we? There's been little mini runs from both teams that have been countered by the other. And I think that's what's making a very, very good game. The scout from Reading, very good. Hemel still doing a good job offensively, lots of weapons. I mean, I just can't wait for the second half now.
Absolutely.
Let's get them back out here.
Absolutely, as we will just remind you that a big thank you, to our sponsors for today's game. As you see it on the screen there. Wilson, Sports Serve, Dynamics, Sport England and Sure Shot, bringing you all the best action from the National Basketball League and the Women's National Basketball League for this coming season. So it's half-time here at Loddon Valley. Hemel Storm lead 50-44 over the Reading Rockets. We'll be back in around 10 minutes' time for the third quarter. And welcome back to the Loddon Valley Leisure Centre here in Reading, where the Reading Rockets trail the Hemel Storm 50-44 to start the third quarter. John Hobbs, Mark Halewood and Ben Fisher keeping you company here today. And the big news at the half is that Troy Cracknell has changed into street clothes. He will take no further part in the game. That blow from Akeem Silla, accidental as it was, caused one of his teeth to be dislodged, and it's profusely bleeding. So unfortunately, he will play no further part. A huge blow for the Reading Rockets, Ben.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, the team's leading scorer so far this season, but yeah, that injury that he sustained in the first half means he can't take any further part. So obviously, the Rockets are going to have to find different ways to score, and you know, Jamar Jenkins really stepped up in the first half. I thought he did a great job, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can carry the load. And the Rockets continue to go through the post with Jordan Jackson and Finn Porter.
And Mark, it's an interesting point that Ben has pointed out. Now with the loss of Cracknell, you know, Rockets will have to go to different scorers and find different ways to get the bucket, get the points on the board. Something that Hemel have no problem in doing. You know, does this mean, you know, Hemel will really have a huge advantage here, or will someone really need to step up for the Rockets?
I think at the minute, the scoring is so balanced from Reading that they'll probably be comfortable where they're at. Jordan Jackson contributing 8 points in the first half is a big gap filler for them. I think maybe Coach Durazade's thinking that on the defensive end it might be a problem. Troy's a very good defender, can switch on to bigs, and that's a big loss. So yeah, I think maybe on the defensive end might be his first concern, as long as the balanced scoring from Reading continues. Absolutely.
Hemel, a lot of points coming from their starting five in this game so far. Only 2 points from their bench, as my good friend Niall Gray has actually pointed out on the comment section of the YouTube feed, as Jenkins misses the long three. Here is Suave. Rye driving, and foul has been, oh no, a carry has been called by the Storm. That's the third call of this game. That's from the first one we spoke about. You don't see it very often, but the referees are really on the ball today. That's the third time that's been called.
Incredible stuff. 1 or 2 a season. We've got 3 today.
We've got 3 in one game. Dixon fakes out Johnson, goes for the floater, back iron, and Silla with the rebound. That's 6 rebounds for Akeem Silla to go with 6 points.
Still good offense, I think, from Reading. Not a bad shot, that one.
Suave thought about 3. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson gets it to go from downtown.
Yeah, very bizarre from the Rockets. They're going under the pick and roll on Taylor Johnson.
17 points now for Taylor Johnson to go with 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And he leads the Hemel Storm. In fact, he leads all scorers at the moment. Again, if you've just tuned in to the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everybody. So great to have you all on board here today from wherever you are across the world, as Jordan Jackson gets that short hook to go.
Jordan Jackson starting where he left off in the first half.
Newman. Johnson to Silla, a little bit of room inside, misses the layup, and Aaron Rye will go to the line for 2 as Ben Dixon with the foul.
I think the Rockets making Akeem Silla catch the ball further away from the bucket has been advantageous to them. I think they just needed to do a better job clearing up the glass. We mentioned that before the game. The rebound really important in this game, very physical game.
Aaron Rye, first season with the Hemel Storm, spent 5 years at Dartmouth, averaging 12.7 rebounds in his final year. And what an impact he has made with the Storm in the early going, as Newman has the ball. And another whistle has gone. as Taylor Johnson flies across court. I think Panda will be adjudged to have fouled him. That is on Panda, that's his third foul. So Ashley Kitchen will come into the game for the first time, or not, excuse me, he actually had 47 seconds toward the end of the quarter, so he's in for the second time this game, and he straight away gets on the stat sheet on a foul from Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, tough matchup to come in and come into for Ashley Kitchen.
And straight away he'll take a seat on the bench as Lewis Champion comes into the game for the first time in this third period.
I think for me, and obviously Ash Kitchen's been subbed out very quickly, and it's an emotional substitution from Coach Nurizadeh. But he comes into the game almost feeling not ready. He needs to be sat down, knowing he's on Taylor Johnson. He's, needs to be bending his knees, being absolutely ready to play, because you knew where the ball was going the minute it came in.
And Taylor Johnson, who had 22 points against the Rockets in the Kick King Trophy semi-final, had 10 of those in the third quarter, so he'll be looking to emulate what he did last time out here at Loddon Valley. Here he is on the ball again. Rye going inside. Silla collects the loose ball, misses it. Rye again gets it to go, and one.
Yeah, we mentioned in the previous play, the offensive rebound is the friend of the Hemel Storm at the minute, and it's something that the Rockets really can't afford to give Hemel more than one opportunity per possession.
As Aaron Rye goes back to the foul line for the Storm.
If I was being hypercritical of Jordan Jackson, I'd be saying 3 rebounds through two and a bit quarters is probably not enough. When Hemel are so active on the offensive glass.
Jackson turning Silla. Silla with great defense. Suave comes up with it. Rye. An open 3 for Sam Newman. Splash. Timeout Reading. Great spell this from the Hemel Storm. They lead by 15, and Samet Nurizadeh just wanting to call his troops in and just calm them down. A great spell this from the Hemel Storm as they take an 11-2 start to this third period.
I think Drew Spinks has just got them coming out playing that little bit harder again. They're playing harder than Reading are at the minute. They're hitting the offensive glass, they're getting out and running, and it's showing in the score. Samet needs to get them back on track, competing. I mean, it's hard to stop things like going under Taylor Johnson's screens. I mean, if there's a guy in the league you don't want to go under, he's probably in the top 5. More of Jordan Jackson getting inside would be useful, but as I say, I think Hemel are just competing better at the minute.
Yeah, I think they defended after that first Jordan Jackson score. They defended the post a little bit better, got a steal, and they're one of the best teams in the league in transition, and they'll find the open man, whether that's on the perimeter or at the rim, and that's what they've done, and they've got a deserved lead.
Absolutely, 16 points on the fast break for the Hemel Storm so far in this game, and they have a 15-point lead in the early stages of the third period. As you see, a fantastic crowd here at Loddon Valley today, a near full house. Regardless of the score, the kids are enjoying themselves as it's a Halloween weekend. Of course, Halloween is on Monday, or tomorrow even. I'm amazed there's no Halloween costumes here today. Not allowed. Here is Champion. Champion gets the ball back. Short floater is no good. And foul is called on Champion, much to the joy of the visiting Hemel Storm fans.
Bit of a rough spell for the Rockets. I think they haven't had too bad of shots, but Dixon kind of missed the open 3. Champion got into the lane, but just missed the floater. So not bad offense from the Rockets, but not converting, and
absolutely
with the Storm converting, it's tough in this period of play.
And Lewis Champion now on 4 fouls, so Isaac Round is going to come into the game for the first time for the Rockets. That's a big blow, though, for Reading, Mark, with Lewis Champion, you know, a big fourth quarter player down the years sitting on 4 fouls.
I actually think in the last minute and a half against Nottingham, he fouled out in that game too. And I think if Lewis stayed in the game, I genuinely think Reading probably would have turned a 1-point loss into a 1-point win. And yeah, you know, big blow when you've already lost Troy Cracknell as well.
Of course, Reading, as you said, Mark, without Troy Cracknell, who's played the first half, but has had to sit out due to a dislodged tooth, which is causing excessive bleeding. So he is sat on the bench for the Rockets as they threaten a near 20-point lead in this game. They currently lead by 17 as Reece Pinnock looks to trim the deficit at the foul line. And Pinnock misses the first, and Reading 2 for 5 from the stripe in this game. They only made 9 trips to the foul line last week against Worthing Thunder, and in comparison, Worthing Thunder had 39 trips to the foul line, so just tells you everything you need to know really about that. Johnson on a catch and shoot. Round rebounds. Jenkins looking for options, driving at Taylor. Here is Porter. Good defense there from the Storm, and here comes Taylor Johnson in transition. The lob, Rye, the finish.
Yeah, this one just slipping away from Reading at the minute. They need some scores to stop the bleeding a bit.
And Pinnock's layup doesn't go. Rye with the loose ball. Hemel can break again. Suave, wide open 3. And that came off Taylor Johnson last, so it'll be a Reading possession as Panda and Jackson will come back into the game for the Rockets, and Ben Dixon and Finley Porter will take a seat.
Yeah, the Rockets just haven't got going in this third quarter. Only 3 points scored, and that's the beauty of the Storm offense. Always ticks over.
Almost carbon copy of last week against Worthing when they lost that third period 33-8 after a very competitive first half. Panda travelled with it, or double dribbled with it. And Hemel will get the ball back.
I think you said in the first half, Fish, and that you would like to see it a bit more now. There's that coming off the pick and roll, finding a bridge pass and a post entry. Finn Porter had a catch, but he didn't really post up a couple of possessions ago. With Jordan Jackson back in, you'd like to see a bit more of that and get to the front of the rim again.
8 turnovers now for the Rockets. Taylor Johnson collects and scores. A long 2 for Taylor Johnson. He now moves on to 21 points. 1 rebound shy of a double-double for Taylor Johnson. Jenkins. 9 on the shot clock. Round. Spinks wanted a travel, but Round misses his 2, and there's an open Sam Newman for the transition bucket.
Problem with that possession is your last guy is the person taking the jump shot. Isaac Round is really the guy who defends the long one, but he's taking the jump shot, and Hemel will just run the other end.
Jenkins, nice up and under, beautiful move from Jeremiah Jenkins.
High difficulty shot, maybe that will get Reading going a bit.
The basket they so desperately needed. As a foul has been called on Reece Pinnock.
I'm not sure about that one, to be honest with you. I think Pinnock does a great job of getting his chest in the way. I don't think it's an offensive foul. I think it's more of a no call. Be good to see that one back again.
I was just about to say, hopefully we can see a replay of that, because I kind of shared the same view as you, but my view was a little more distorted. It almost looked like Suave was pushing off a little bit, but referee saw more contact on the defensive side from Pinnock. That's his first foul. Rockets now in the team fouls as we see the replay of that incident. I think you're right, actually. I think that was a bit of a no call, really. Either way, Hemel lead 71-49. 4 minutes remaining in the third. Here's Round. Pinnock. 4 on the shot clock for Rhys Pinnock. And a foul called. Ryan Suave were there, and the foul will be on Aaron Rye.
Great replay of that one too. That's a very tough call.
Very much so.
Suave just walked off and said, I don't know. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we share his sentiment.
Absolutely, yeah. That, again, a very questionable call, you have to say, but we have the benefit of replays. The referees don't, as Jeremiah Jenkins knocks down a 3, or a 2, excuse me. His feet were on the line. Newman, Oyafusi gets it to go over Jackson. Here is Jackson putting the moves on Oyafusi. Another short hook off the glass, no good. And Rye with the rebound. 9 rebounds now for Aaron Rye to go with 17 points. Newman dumps it off to Rye off the glass.
Great offense from the Hemel Storm, just get inside, little dump down. Last possession for Reading, Jordan Jackson just catching too far off the block to really make a meaningful move, and he can't score.
Jenkins, Pinnock, driving. Great defense again from Hemel. Sam Newman can break. Rye puts it in, and a foul. Great offense there from the Hemel Storm. Another basket in transition. And Aaron Rye now moves on to 19 on 7 for 9 shooting.
Yeah, the Storm really putting the Rockets to the sword in this third quarter. As you say, John, very much similarities to last week's game in Worthing. But what firepower this Storm team has.
As Rye misses the foul shot. Here is Jackson inside. Jackson gets it to go inside.
Better position catch from Jordan
Absolutely,
Jackson.
Yeah. Reading scored 34 points inside last week against Worthing, but only converted 40% of their attempts in the paint. Doing a slightly better job today, but still third quarter troubles hampering them as we have 2:09 remaining in the third.
Yeah, tough quarter. Just looking at the stats, like you said, Lewis Champion having 4 and losing Troy Cracknell's basically like losing 2 of your lead guys, isn't it? That is very difficult. Finn Porter also been on 3 fouls. Thought maybe he gets introduced again. But yeah, as you said, Fish, the foul trouble and missing players, Hemel have just put Reading to the sword on that one.
Absolutely, and another statistic as well, almost carbon copy from last week. Of course, Worthing went to the line 20 more times than Reading, and it's the same story again here. Hemel Storm 17 for 24 from the free throw line. Reading just 3 of 6 as Jenkins puts in a 3.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference between the two teams at the moment. The Storm are really attacking the rim. That's something that I know Coach Nurazano has been working very hard with his team on. But they're not managing to find it.
And a rare turnover there from the Storm, and now it's numbers here for the Rockets, and Panda with the layup. Storm actually had the numbers on defense. It was 4 on 2, but Sada Panda made them pay. Newman just about finds Right, even though Isaac Round is all over him. Nice pass inside, and Aqua Davis with the finish.
Frustrating on the help side. It's defended well. Don't need to overhelp on it. Great cut from Aqua Davis.
Absolutely great defense from Isaac Round, a GB under-18 international, and the foul has been called. And Jeremiah Jenkins will go to the foul line as Romario Spence will come back into the game for the Storm. Of course, Spence started the season in the British Basketball League playing for the Plymouth City Patriots, made the move down to Hemel Hempstead, as you see the replay. Jeremiah Jenkins, for someone of 5'8", has such amazing hang time and incredible leaping ability. And he makes the first.
And thank goodness for him in this quarter, because I know it's 21. I think without him, it's probably upwards of 30.
Absolutely. Well, he now moves on to 18 points on 7 for 13 shooting. And strings both. First points at the foul line for Jeremiah Jenkins. Burnell. Newman looks for Burnell in his favourite spot, and that's why.
One of the league's best.
Absolutely, 33% last season from downtown Jack Burnell. Pinnock looking for options, long two, and that grazes the rim, and Newman comes up with the loose ball. Final 20 seconds of this third period, it's been all Hemel Storm. Spence from downtown.
Wow, what a third quarter for the Storm.
A 33-16 third period for Hemel. Final seconds. And Round puts in a three at the buzzer. Isaac Round in the corner answers back, but the end of the third period sees Hemel leading 86-63, and a very closely fought first half has just been blown wide open going into the fourth quarter, Ben.
Yeah, and I think if we were honest, that the strength and depth of the Storm team, as well as the Thunder team from last week, really showing through in the second half. I think with this Storm team, they've developed a really positive culture. It doesn't really matter who scores for them. They're always celebrating each other's successes, and that's a sign of a really good team and a healthy organisation. Rockets keep going, and they've done some really good things. They're not giving up. They're fighting in every possession, which is great to see. But yeah, I think that quarter really shows the intent of this Storm outfit for this season.
And Taylor Johnson, 21 points, 10 rebounds. Mark and Sam Newman hit 10 assists as well towards the end of that third period. Just so much strength and depth across all levels, and every stat sheet is being filled, something that Reading have not quite done in this game. Jeremiah Jenkins leads them with 19.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, the rosters are different from a personnel point of view. There are many more scoring options on this Hemel roster as opposed to the Reading roster. However, I think we've seen in the first half there's a way to keep it close. Rockets not quite as good defensively this half. Hemel finding much more inside, which we said they didn't have in the first half. If Reading can cut that off and go on a little run, let's see where it goes. I mean, the Hoods game was a similar sort of score, wasn't it, going into the fourth? I think it was 16-17 in that Hoods game, and they came back to be leading with a minute to go. So fingers crossed for an ending like that again.
Absolutely, and a few comments on the YouTube channel. Welcome to everybody that is watching here today, but a few people already talking about Saturday night, December 10th. That will be the first meeting of the season between the Worthing Thunder and the Hemel Storm, two of the most talked about teams so far in Division 1. That was a beautiful pass from Taylor Johnson that Jack Burnell couldn't finish. What a game that will be at the Worthing Leisure Centre just before Christmas.
Got to be as you say, the two early title contenders.
Jackson got it stripped from Johnson, and Johnson fouled by Jenkins.
I think the difference is that the Storm feel they can help off a bit more with certain personnel on the floor. I think that with the Rockets doing that, they've sort of stunted off Taylor Johnson a couple of times and he's punished them. So that is a bit of a difference between the two teams, I think.
And Hemel Storm actually more turnovers than Reading so far in this game. That was the 10th turnover from the Rockets compared to 13 from Hemel as Johnson hits the turnaround too.
Just think first half as well, Reading defended the actions better. I know there was an emphasis from Coach Samet in the week. They just seem to defend screening actions so much better. This half, they just, Taylor Johnson walks across the lane for a 10-footer.
And there he is again, blocked this time from Porter. Gets the ball back though. And will go to the line for two. Finley Porter didn't think he fouled him, thought he had his hands up, and I think that'll be your fourth foul on Finley Porter. It is, yeah.
I was already signalling to Fish that he's about to foul him here. Really good block. Just needs to sit down and defend. He's young. I understand the excitement of getting a block on Taylor Johnson. But you think to yourself, God, sit in now, get this turnover with it. Instead, he gets too excited, fouls him. Taylor Johnson back to the line.
And Taylor Johnson misses the first. So the foul almost justified, but at the same time, it's a risky one as Porter now on 4 fouls, and a young player who can be a little bit over-enthusiastic at times. We saw that in the game against Nottingham and in the game against Worthing, where he put some good numbers on the board, but can be a little bit handsy, shall we say, as a foul has been called off the ball. And that's a foul on Teo Oyefusi. That'll be his first foul of the day.
Just held Porter on the cut. Nothing too damning.
Porter backing down Oyefusi. Beautiful move from Finley Porter. Nearly got his own rebound.
That's a tough call.
And I wasn't even sure what that was, really. I thought Oyefusi had collected that, but either way, Rockets will keep possession. Even the Reading fans behind the basket are laughing at that one, as Jenkins again puts in a 3 and looks towards the Hemel fans who just calmly point to the scoreboard at the moment.
Oh, that is a vintage move, isn't it? Point to the scoreboard. It's amazing.
These Hemel fans have been around the block. They know this game as well. Oyefusi for 3. Doesn't go, and here's Reece Pinnock off to the races. Pinnock puts on the burners and scores, and Drew Spinks calls a quick timeout as the gap has been reduced ever so slightly to 18 points, but a good spell from the Rockets, but a good timeout, Mark, from Drew Spinks, stopping any momentum that Reading might need.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Spinks in this league, very, very good coach. With 3 timeouts going into this fourth quarter, he should be able to manage this out, truthfully, even now at 18 points. So he takes that early timeout, stops the run. He's still got 2 more to burn. Very, very smart timeout.
But you say that it won't be as effective, but you never know in this game. Teams have come back from larger deficits before, and Reading, Ben, are very capable of mounting a late comeback.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a very big effort. It gives Coach Nurizadeh a chance just to talk things over, make a couple of adjustments in this fourth quarter. The next kind of target for them is, can they get an 8-zip run to get it down to 10? That would be ideal, but he's going to have to really work hard on different matchups and alignments for that. With 2 academy players in their lineup at the moment, which is great to see.
Absolutely, and something that Reading have preached for years and years and years with their JMA Academy, and obviously using their links across Reading. They've done it for so many years, and some fantastic players have come out of that academy as well, this franchise, most notably Luke Nelson, who of course now plays for the London Lions and Great Britain, and Lewis Champion, of course, who was the MVP of the 2013 playoff final when Reading lost 1 silverware. That was back in Manchester, as Taylor Johnson's 3 is off right. Pinnock bit out of control, and Johnson another rebound. That's 12 boards. The lob, the finish from Rye. That's the third time we have seen that today. Samet Nurizadeh was calling for a timeout, but the table didn't see it.
Yeah, tough one. Turnover.
That's tough.
And then layup and then missed timeout. Reading could really use a score here.
Absolutely. Samet Nurizadeh really not happy with the table there, as a missed three from Round, and here come the Storm again. The lob, and Suave couldn't find Newman, but Storm can collect the ball. Here is Johnson, offensive foul, and a little bit of afters there between Reese Pinnock and Taylor Johnson. Pinnock's still on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just accidentally trod on him as he was making his way.
A couple of interesting comments. Our friend Niall Gray saying a lot of the scoring for Reading coming from the bench. Again, I think that's a lot to do with Jeremiah Jenkins starting on the bench this week instead of being in the starting lineup. Has been, you know, predominantly a starter for this Reading lineup. Great
having Niall Gray on board here today. Of course, a prominent commentator in the Eurocup is Niall Gray, and formerly of the Surrey Scorchers as well in the British Basketball League, but now enjoying a bit more action in the Eurocup. Great to have him on board. Suave looking for Johnson, finds him with 5 to shoot. Johnson a bit out of control, but gets it to go anyway.
He is tough. My goodness me, what a move by Taylor Johnson.
Almost looked like he was running out of options and was over dribbling it, but still got his shot to go. As Akeem Silla prepares to check in for Hemel. 4 on the shot clock for Jenkins. And a shot clock violation as Rockets a little bit static there on offense. Jenkins did have an open shot there, but decided to pass it to an open Ashley Kitchen, and by then the shot clock had expired.
Coach Nurizadeh wanted to go back to the same action where Ash Kitchen screened and then slipped for the layup, except Hemel defended this time, and Reading ran out of ideas.
Suave, a wide open three. It's almost like an open scrimmage right now for the Storm. Another timeout. This time the table did see the timeout called by Samet Nurizadeh, and Hemel running away with this with 5:45 remaining in this game. Another tough lesson for the Rockets, but still with 5:45 remaining, anything can happen.
There is still plenty of game in this. As I say, I mean, Coach Spinks is a very experienced coach. He'll do his best to manage it, but you know, a couple of stops, couple of threes perhaps, and then maybe it gets a bit close and Hemel lose focus. Who knows? But I'm going to be the boring one and say I think Hemel will probably see this out.
Still with halfway through the fourth quarter, anything can happen, but fair enough, Mark, I get that. So
I sound like fish for once.
So welcome everybody to the Basketball England YouTube channel. John Hobbs, Mark Halewood, Ben Fisher here today at Loddon Valley Leisure Centre, where the Hemel Storm look to be on course for a win against the Reading Rockets. Of course, this is the first NBL live game of the season. The next time our cameras will be with you will be on the south coast in Southampton, when the Solent Kestrels will take on the Brent Bulls in WNBL Division 1 action. That'll be followed by the Solent Kestrels against the Manchester Magic. That'll be on Saturday the 19th of November. So the two newly promoted sides in the National Basketball League travelling to Southampton to play the Solent Kestrels. And of course there'll be many other fixtures across both the Women's and Men's League on the Basketball England YouTube channel. So like, share and subscribe to catch all the action in what has been a fantastic start to this season. Lots of drama already, lots of highlights. It's been fantastic to watch. Here is Jackson, 4 on the shot clock, as Lewis Champion back into the game for the Rockets as he misses his 3.
more difficulties on offense. I think Finn Porter's running a different play. Takes him another 4 or 5 seconds to get into an action, and they're left with a end of shot clock triple.
Suave. Johnson picks up his dribble but finds Rye, spins, nice pass inside, and Silla blows the layup. Good contest though, I think that was Jordan Jackson under the basket. Jackson inside to Porter, did well to catch. And long-time Rockets fan and volunteer June Sainsbury there with the catch under the basket as she passes it back to the referee.
Safe hands June, they used to call us.
Very good, Mark, very good.
That was the most on-the-spot nickname I think I've heard today.
Mid-season for me.
Turnover there off the inbounds. Taylor Johnson in transition and a foul. Beautiful movement from Taylor Johnson. Almost gliding in mid-air, changing his body, but still had enough willpower to get that to go. As you see it on the replay, great find from Sam Newman. That is his 13th assist to go with 13 points for Sam Newman on a perfect 5-for-5 shooting. Timeout called by the Rockets.
I think this is a good indicator where this Rockets group is at the minute. I think the top 2 or 3 teams in the league are going to be a step too far for them at the minute where we are in early season. Maybe because of personnel and Hemel just playing very, very good basketball at the minute. But you can see, can't you? They can extend that period of 2 quarters into 3 or 2.5, and it becomes different down the stretch. So, tough outing for the Rockets, but Hemel have just been fantastic.
Absolutely. Hemel have shot 61% from the field, and we spoke about it at the end of the first quarter, how Hemel were shooting at a high percentage, but you wonder how long that could last and if Reading can counter that, because they weren't shooting too badly themselves, but Hemel have just gotten better and better and better, especially going into the third quarter and onwards, Ben.
Well, absolutely. And I think if you've got Jack Burnell coming off the bench as the 9th or 10th man and able to knock down the 3, that says everything you need to know.
Yeah.
The depth of scoring from this team is quite fantastic. And I have to say, we talk about Taylor Johnson a lot, but his ability to finish, he's just got everything in his locker, really, for this league. And you can see once again there, out of nothing, he draws a foul, is able to finish and goes to the line for a 3-point play. So I think what I would say for the Rockets is, having played the Thunder and the Storm in their first 2 of their first 3 games, it's not sort of toys out the pram moment. I think it's a great learning experience for the group, and hopefully it will hold them in good stead for their remaining games up to the Christmas break.
Absolutely. Something Matt Johnson alluded to me last week when we were in Worthing. He was saying that it's good to get these 2 top teams out of the way, so it shows where they are as a franchise and where they need to be in the table. So a good learning curve for these Rockets. Champion gets it back. 8 to shoot. Pinnock, step back 3 for Reece Pinnock. That's off the back iron. And Rye comes up with it. Hemel again breaking in transition. And it will stay with the Storm. I think Sam Newman wanted the highlight reel finish, but instead they'll get another shot of it.
Pinnock, a very good shot blocker in transition for his size. I'll get hated in the comment section for him catching the Aaron Rye one earlier, but he is a very good defender in transition. Blocks a lot of shots, a lot of chase down blocks.
Here is Jenkins. Taylor Johnson 3 assists shy of a triple-double so far, actually. Has 27, 12 and 7 right now. Jenkins goes over to the shot clock, and that might be a bit too difficult to retrieve. I think we might need another ball here.
This is going to be an interesting one. Who's getting that down?
How are we going to get the ball? Let's play that game.
Well, there's a slight break in play. I'm just wondering when I should start triggering some more of the comment section and start to talk about Taylor Johnson to the BBL and is he good enough? I don't know if I want to do that yet. Get everyone upset.
Well, Taylor Johnson, a veteran in NBL Division 1, has been linked with BBL clubs as Seth Suave with...
Where there we go.
One of the balls you'd find from Sports Direct, but they're all having issues. And Sam Newman connects.
But don't forget, you can buy basketballs from any other sporting outlet. He's done it anyway, John. He's got the ball. Can you believe it? That was great.
Even with inferior basketball technology, he's managed it.
They're all round.
Oh, goodness. Albeit the ball that they're playing on right now is around 74 pounds from the Basketball England shot. But either way, Reese Pinnock going inside and lays it up and in.
Yeah, Reese Pinnock really good in transition, especially playing downhill, so good to see him get to the rack to score.
Suave. Reese Pinnock smothering him on defence, maybe a little too much.
We're looking at the replay here. Let's have a quick look at that.
Probably a bit too much on the hands, maybe, I think.
Yeah, maybe so. I think it was a bit of a late call there.
Third foul on Pinnock as Nick Allen checks into the game for the first time for the Storm, and a 5-second violation has been called. Another one to the rarely called column in this game, and a 5-second call has been added to that.
Relatively fast count as well.
Tick. Tick.
These referees letting these teams know that they mean business. Here is Pinnock. 6 on the shot clock. Reese Pinnock finds an open Kitchen. Kitchen has to put up something. Still has the ball. And a shot clock violation. Another broken offense there from the Rockets. It almost sums up their afternoon.
Yeah, and for young Ash Kitchen, it's a 23-point blowout at the minute. I think he just pulls the trigger.
Yeah, I think a bit of naivety there as well, just not knowing the shot clock. That's a really important part of a young player's game, to know the time and score.
Newman wanting to dance, kicks it out to Aqua Davis, who almost falls to the floor. Oyafusi with a hand in his face, and Nick Allen with the rebound. Newman, Rye going inside, and Jackson thought he had the block, but instead was adjudged to have fouled him. So Aaron Wright again will go to the foul line.
Clever from Aaron Wright to get Jordan Jackson on his back. I think any ref in the league calls that one.
Where did this comment come of Mark Halewood for the BBL? I've just seen on the...
Niall
Gray is on form today, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. I mean, he said... I think it's Taylor Johnson BBL, so then he said, is Mark Halewood good enough for the BBL? And I said, no, not as a commentator or ex-player. Neither.
Cheerleader.
There has been some very random comments today, but that probably might top the lot.
That's what we're here for.
As Kevin Hawes checks into the game for the first time, a product of the City of London Academy, playing in the EABL. Of course, the Polar Institute really synonymous in British basketball. The women's team, current WNBL Division 1 league and playoff champions, as well as WEABL winners. Here is Aqua Davis. Aqua Davis just about keeps the handle and then loses it.
Can see from Jordan Jackson there, just that little gap in skill. Gets to the front of the rim. This time can't go with a lefty hook, just naturally with the left. Wants to go back to his right, makes it a tougher finish.
It's always nice to know that we can provide entertainment for our viewers today. Just touching on the Mark Halewood for the BBL comment. Either way,
got a feeling this will be the last time NBL Live comes to Reading with me and Fish.
Reese Pinnock strings a 3.
You'll get someone sensible like Matt Johnson on the stream.
Oh no.
Matt declined our invitation, that's why we invited you, but either way.
Sounds about right.
Here is Allen to Oyafusi. Oyafusi looking for options. The short hook, and it rattles in, and that brings up the 100 for Teo Oyafusi and the Hemel Storm, with 1:26 remaining in what has been a good day's work for the team from Hemel Hempstead.
The running hook
for
Teo Oyafusi, I love it. Things you love to see.
The highlight of any day is when you see the running hook. And a foul has been called away from the shot. And that will be on Charles Aqua-Davis. I think that will be either his second or his second foul. Bit of confusion as to if it's foul shots or if it's an inline ball, but definitely an inline ball. Hemel not yet in the penalty, yet Rockets are. It's all academic now anyway, with 1:21 remaining. And here is Walker into the game for the first time. Round gets it stripped off him by Allen, and Hawes collects it, tries to go under the legs, but doesn't quite pull it off. Walker drives at Hawes inside. Pinnock, and his hook misses everything, and Hemel will get the ball as the ball was last touched by Peter Walker.
Defer to you on this one, Fish. Reading finishing out with 4 academy guys.
Yes.
Great insight there.
Thanks,
from Ben Fisher. Fantastic insight as always from Ben Fisher.
I thought more detail was going to come. I was wrong.
JMA's finest on the floor as Spence, a bit too much of the player rather than the ball, and Peter Walker will go to the line and a chance to get his first points of the season in NBL Division 1.
Yeah, Pistol Pete Walker. I'll cover you for this bit, Fish. Lefty shooter, very good from the perimeter.
As he makes the first free throw, Hemel Storm will improve to 4-0 in NBL Division 1. And Reading Rockets still yet to get off the mark, but it's a long way to go in this season. A lot can change, a lot can happen. As Aqua-Davis going strong and lays it up and in. And shot clock is now turned off, so Reading will dribble this one out. A statement win, though, for the Hemel Storm, as Rockets still not cleared for takeoff, as there was a storm cloud brewing here at Loddon Valley, as the Hemel Storm will come away with a 103-79 win here today in Reading. Taylor Johnson with 27 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, leading the way for the Storm. Aaron Rye with 25 points and 11 boards to support him. For the Reading Rockets, Jeremiah Jenkins with 24 points, and Jordan Jackson with his breakout game, you should say, with 12 points and 5 rebounds to support him. Reese Pinnock had 12 points as well in that run, but a good performance from the Hemel Storm today, and Reading still yet to get off the mark. As said, a long way to go in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see that the great start to the Storm season has continued. Their offensive threat is something that remains, still averaging nearly 100 points a game. I think for the Rockets, the loss of Troy Cracknell didn't help. I think probably with him, it's slightly closer, but I think the outcome of the game probably remains the same at this stage of the season. But to be honest with you, I'm really excited by what the Rockets can offer later in the season. I think they're a really well-coached team, and I think that they'll cause a few upsets later on down the line. But yeah, credit to Storm. They got the job done, especially in the third quarter. Very, very big third quarter for them.
And for Reading, of course, a long way to go in the season. Very exciting what's going on, but at the moment, still struggling. It's just a case of just playing for the full 40 minutes quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the most important thing, and I think they'll be working on that in due course.
So Mark Halewood is courtside with today's MVP, Taylor Johnson. And Mark, take it away.
Joined by Taylor Johnson. Taylor, big win today here in Reading. First half, a bit closer than the second. Talk us through the first half.
Yeah, it was still a close game in the first half. I felt like we came out pretty quick, pretty fast. I think we maybe had a little bit of a lead, but Reading made some shots and competed in half and kept it close. Yeah, so.
And second half, what did Coach say in the locker room to get you guys coming out all guns blazing?
Yeah, it was just to keep going. We needed to clean up a few things, but really just to come out and have a strong third quarter and not really have a let up. Try to play, put together a good whole game. Yeah.
And for you personally, another big outing. How are you feeling this season?
Yeah, good. I'm feeling good. Yeah, we got a strong team. I'm feeling good. I think everyone's pretty healthy. We're getting a lot of help from everyone, so it's been good so far.
Appreciate it, John. Coming back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Taylor. And Ben, just going back on what Taylor was saying, very poignant, especially in the locker room in the third quarter, and what Coach Spink said to the team.
Yeah, and you can see that they scored 50 points in the first half and then 53 in the second half, and you can see there was no let up. They made a few adjustments at half time, and with the I think defensively they were a little bit better as well, and took away some of the threats. Obviously, the Rockets reduced in their offensive output with Troy Cracknell out, so it was a little bit easier for them. But yeah, they did a good job, and then, as Taylor Johnson says, that team feels good, he feels good, so it's very promising for them.
And Mark, going on to the Reading Rockets side, again the third quarter has hampered them once more. They had that against Worthing last week. It happened again today. It's just about consistency. There's a long way to go in the season, but worrying signs for Samet Nurizade, or is it just too early to tell?
I think it's quite early to tell. And I think the other thing is as well, I mean, if you look today, you lose Lewis Champion with foul trouble. Troy Cracknell goes down at half-time with an injury. I think that's probably today is the level they're at with the depth they have currently. So once you lose a couple of key personnel and Hemel come out strong, it's tough to bounce back from that. Perhaps with a full lineup and a bit more scoring, a little bit more defense third quarter, they stay close. But I wouldn't say worrying signs just yet. I think Coach Samet will know he'll just want to extend those periods of good play, and that will definitely happen heading towards Christmas and post-Christmas.
So before we go, a big shout out to our sponsors for today's NBL Live encounter that you've just seen. The Hemel Storm coming away with a 103-79 win. Wilson Sportserve, Dynamic Sport England, and Sure Shot. Big thanks to you guys for everything you do for Basketball England and NBL Live. John Hobbs, Mark Halewood and Ben Fisher have been keeping you company today. Hemel Storm still unbeaten. Reading Rockets still yet to get off the mark. There's a long way to go in the season, but it's exciting times for Hemel as they challenge, or mount an early challenge, for the NBL Division 1 title. Good afternoon, everybody from Loddon Valley.